everyone, welcome to this little bonus video. Today what I want to do is I want to talk about They Might Be Giants' 23rd album that just came out, Book. This is They Might Be Giants' Book, but not to be confused with They Might Be Giants' Book. Alright, this right here is a book, and as you can also see, it is one. Ooh. But it's not just a book, it's also an album. What? 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 The book and the album are one and the same. They are both companion pieces to each other. Each page has some very intense typography to go along with each song that is listed on here. It's not just songs from Book, but it features songs from I Like Fun and My Murdered Remains, other albums with intense typography themes. So this essentially is the big finale to all of this typography style that the They Might Be Giants have been rolling with for the past several years. Now this album right here is filled with content that was recorded during the, say it with me, the totally awful COVID-19 pandemic that has infected the creative ethos and will till the end of time. Now, if everything goes just right, I should have this out by the release date. I actually got an early copy of this release. Yeah. How did I get my early copy? Mind your own freaking business. Mind your own business, okay? Alright. I'm now going to give you my thoughts on this album right here, and I'm going to do it in a worst to best format. So strap on in. I'm going to give you a small little synopsis of every song on Book. Hello? Alright, I come to you from the void. Number 15, worst song off Book. I put down a synopsis for latecomers. So the first song off the album on Book is actually what I think is the worst song off the album, which is such a shame, because They Might Be Giants has had so many awesome openers. I mean, the last big release was My Murdered Remains, and that had Communists Have the Music. Well, that's a fantastic opener. So like the whole song pretty much is a public service announcement, and the whole thing is like describing this terrible, terrible thing that happened to the public, but trying to get them to remain calm, so they're giving out the littlest of information as possible. That's like the whole song, and I think it's a wonderful, wonderful setup for a song. I just think it could have been a little bit more vague. I feel like if it was vaguer about what happened, it would have worked a little bit better. It's not really about like what happened, it's about like these people are not telling you everything. I feel like that would have been a better focal point for the song, instead of just talking about these wacky scenarios like the volcanoes exploding, a shipping container abandoned in the desert covered in snakes. I feel like that would have been more successful. The next song is number 14, Drown the Clown. It's another okay song. It's nothing too wild and crazy. What I think though, the reason why it's so low is I think it does overstay its welcome around the 2-minute mark. And you expect the song to like end, but then it keeps going on past the finish line a little bit, and then it just has a very underwhelming finish. Number 13, I put Moonbeam Rays. This is the second song off the album. Moonbeam Rays is a weird song because I get such a strong sense of deja vu from it. I searched the discography and I'm like, I swear I've heard something that sounds so similar to this. And I can't put my finger on it, but I'm like, this sounds similar to something else they've done. Moonbeam Rays is like a breakup song. It's like someone who has been fed up with a relationship because their partner is like extremely lazy and inconsiderate, so they're like getting out of there. They're moving to a different state. They are just done with this relationship and just moving on. Now my headcanon for this song is I think it's actually tied into another They Might Be Giants song called Ampersand, one of my favorite They Might Be Giants love songs. The reason is because they both feature the word cicadas in it, and Ampersand was released on the last big release, so I'm like, cicadas written in 2 different songs really close to each other. This probably has something to do with each other. Next song is Less Than One. Sounds like a fun writing exercise. The whole song is all about talking about a man who notices things have been cut into smaller percentages than 100%. When he's noticing it, he starts thinking about it all the time until it gives him lots of stress. Less Than One is the finale. It's the last song off the album. It just doesn't have a nice finale kind of feel to it. I actually think this song would have been better as the opener to the whole album because it has such a good, fast-paced energy, which I just don't think the last song should be where you give your biggest punch. Number 11 is Part of You Wants to Believe Me. I hate that I keep ragging on Synopsis for the Latecomers, but I feel like Synopsis for the Latecomers would have done very, very well if it followed the same format of Part of You Wants to Believe Me. And one of the first opening lines is, Part of you wants to believe me, but part of you is not fully off of your meds. That is a haunting couple of sentences. That is freaking terrifying. And after that, everything is extremely vague. You could have so many different interpretations to this song, and almost all of them could probably be plausible on what the song is actually about. What I think the song is about is I think this is someone who has a little voice in their head that constantly is giving them different advice, constantly gaslighting them, and trying to convince them to stop taking their medication so that they can get like full control of the host. That's what I think, but it's so vague. It could be about like a partner who's manipulating you, which would be even more terrifying. And so yeah, I think it's a very nice, haunting song. Number 10 is Super Cool. Man, oh man, is it getting really, really hard to put these in like the right spots. I hardly find any issue with Super Cool. It's just compared to the other songs, I'm not as excited about Super Cool, but that's not saying that I don't listen to Super Cool all the time. It's a little simple of a song. It is a song about a guy who is really infatuated with a girl who he thinks is super cool, while he himself thinks himself as a loser. The thing that makes it really awesome is this wonderful, wonderful rhythm and beat. It's so awesome. Number 9 is Lord Snowden. Lord Snowden is a song all about the Earl of Snowden, who got married into the royal family, lived in a incredibly loveless marriage. Like, they hated each other so much, they sent each other hate notes. Like, they would replace the bookmarks in their books with very hateful notes. And they would just go back and forth, and they wouldn't talk to each other. They would cheat on each other. It was such a bad, terrible marriage. Now, Lord Snowden, the entire song is through his perspective. Someone who is the ultimate outsider. He's a creative person, so he doesn't get along with lots of just like people who just aren't into creative ventures at all. He was a commoner, so he can't really relate to the royal family. He's in the royal family, so now he can't relate to a commoner. He is the ultimate outsider, and no one can understand how he feels. And that is such an issue. And this song is all about how he feels in that kind of mindset. Number 8 is Quit the Circus. I love all of the circus imagery we have for this release. We had Drown the Clown, and now we have Quit the Circus. Quit the Circus is about, again, a failing relationship, a relationship that is with 2 older people, and the whole song is just about how miserable they are. This one, I really love the rise in the music. It is so freaking absolutely cool when it starts so soft, and then the freaking like chorus comes in, and it's just like, whoa, oh, that's awesome. I audibly went, wow. Number 7 is a very odd one. It's called Brontosaurus. Brontosaurus is a song that when I first heard it, I was like, oh, that's weird. This is how he sings the song. And I thought that was just so odd at first, but yeah, it has grown on me. This song is a coming-of-age story. It's someone who is reminiscing on their life, and they're comparing themselves to a Brontosaurus. I really want to see this song perform live because I think it would kick absolute ass to see. Number 6 is I Lost Thursday. Probably the most shown off single off this album. It was released a while back publicly on their YouTube channel. And it's a song all about the lockdown, the COVID lockdown. Time was meaningless, where people just couldn't figure out what day it was because they've been just so isolated, and time was basically meaningless for a while.
Now time for a new segment designed just for people who are working from home or spending days helping kids with schoolwork and might be losing track of the time right now. So, what day is it?
It's Thursday.
We had to be constantly reminded what day it was because we just couldn't figure out. Our biological clocks were shot. I think it's a very, very nice song, and I think the bongos slap so hard on this track. The instrumental is super cool. Next song is called If Day for Winnipeg. If Day for Winnipeg is a haunting track, a disorienting little piece that constantly changes to make you feel just so uneasy while you listen. The song is all about, most likely, the siege on the Capitol. Oh my god. And the whole song is talking about that right there. And it's comparing that entire situation with If Day, which back in World War II, to raise funds for the war, Winnipeg decided to have a day where they role-played what would it be like if Nazi Germany came and took over Winnipeg, had all the volunteers act as accurately as possible, and it was a very successful fundraiser, but it was one day where you got to feel like, what would it be like if your entire country got taken over? And that is that's what John was like, yeah, that's exactly how it feels right now. And that's what the song's talking about. It is a terrifying track, but it's so well executed with the feeling of uneasiness. You feel gross while listening to it, and I think it's a very, very nice track. So that's If Day for Winnipeg. Number 4 is a song called I Can't Remember the Dream. I Can't Remember the Dream is another song that just sounds like it came straight from the pandemic. The song is a song that's all about escapism. It is about someone who has been so depressed almost their entire life, and just one fleeting moment, they had a dream where everything was perfect, and all they want to do now is try to remember it because it's the last time they remember themselves truly happy. Yeah, it's a very sad song, and he's like, how can my brain make me this happy and not let me remember it? How is that even possible? That's so not fair. And all he can remember is the fact that he was so happy while it was happening. I Can't Remember the Dream is a very, very nice. Number 3 is I Broke My Own Rule. Number 4 and number 3 could be switched interchangeably. This one was very hard for me to pinpoint which one I thought was better. I went with I Broke My Own Rule just because it is more of an interesting sounding song with its like structure. Everything is wrecked, everything is wrecked. Smashed up and destroyed, smashed up and destroyed. I broke my rule, I broke my own rule. Like, it's weird how, like, so many songs in book has almost a musical motif going throughout. Lots of pauses and stops. And it's probably because of the time they were written, everything was so disjointed and odd and crazy. And I think book itself has this very weird identity because of the time it was written in. Number 2 is extremely awesome. It is called Wait, Actually, Yeah, No. Wait, Actually, Yeah, No is a very slow song that is about someone trying to come up with ideas. I'm assuming for like a song. You know, okay, I'll make a song that's based off of World War II, and then your own brain goes, Yeah, actually, yeah, no, that's actually a shitty idea for a song. Okay, then I will make a song about riding on the bus and the people I see there. Yeah, but that kind of sucks too. Yeah, you know, it's like completely wanting to make something, but also being just like not in the right headspace. You shot down every idea of your own, and you're beating yourself up about it, which I think is very poignant during the COVID pandemic, because you have all the time in the world to make stuff now, but you just can't because you're so freaking sad. You know how many days it took me to get the energy just to clean my room, to freaking take a shower, let alone just doing simple stuff like coming up with video ideas. That is exactly the kind of mindset no gives me. Anytime I try to make something and I just shoot myself down because I just think, yeah, it sucks, I suck, I'm not doing this, bye. Time for number one, my number one recommendation from the album. The best song off the album, I believe it's Darling the Dose. Darling the Dose is a song that is about a couple who is going through trouble living together during the lockdown. And they have to be stuck with each other because they can't do anything else but be next to each other 24 hours a day. The song is hinting at the fact that they are not doing so well. For the past 3 years, they haven't been doing well, and now they are stuck with each other, and they can't do anything else. The only way out of this is to kill yourself, almost. The dose is the pillow in this pillowcase, like saying like, oh man, I would just freaking. The way to get out of this is to freaking end this relationship, but I need this relationship. I need this person in my life. I'm dependent on this person, but I hate their freaking guts. I need this person, but they're killing me. So they use the phrase, the dose is the poison. The solution to the problem is also what's hurting me. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Hope you enjoyed this bonus video of me talking about all the songs off of Book. Thank you to all my Patrons. You can see them right here. There's one. There's one. There's one. Those are my patrons. Hopefully I'll have this new worst album ever made out soon. It is a very, very strange one this time. And it's taking my brain a while to get used to this kind of sound. So yeah, I will tell you about my thoughts about that very soon. Anyway, thank you for enjoying it. Goodbye.